like a masterclass for my maiden ladies and my breast cancer Yorkshire. Merry Christmas, guys. So take your arms up into like cactus arms, yeah? And all we're going to do, keep the belly in, so think about a hot coal on your belly button and draw it away, and then just pull back and just hold. And then back gently just to centre. And again, pull back. So we're trying to work the upper trapezius muscles in the upper back and then forward. And again, you can always do this against a wall, so anything that is really stretching out through the front of the chest and back. So we're not doing this. Yeah, we're literally just squeezing the scapula together. And then just take it down. You can do a similar one where you just go out and again, squeeze and take it out. So one of my best friends who's got real shoulder issues at the minute has been given dumb waiter, which we're going to do, but she's been given it to hold, and again. So obviously with surgery, anything where you've got scarring, or even just, you know, prolonged periods at a computer, tighten these front muscles. So squeeze, and again, and think about length through the crown of the head, keep about the shoulders down. And then back, and then you can take them out as well. Just have a real stretch. I'm very tight today. And then lower. So again, out, just squeeze. And you'll notice if you're looking at me kind of, you know, like that, then you'll notice that my left side, where I've got a shoulder injury I've done for years, it's just, I have to work really hard not to let that shoulder do that. And again, 2 more. And lower. And again, so squeeze the scapula together and then out and feel that stretch. Well done. And then just do some circles. So often we go around with our shoulders up here somewhere. Take them down. And 2 more. 1 more. Just notice there's one click. This one's fine. This one. Click, click. And then you can do a big circle. So as always, we'll come up a little bit onto our toes just to keep the back of our legs nice and strong. But again, try not to over kind of stretch out. So when you come up onto the balls of the feet, only come so far as not to let the feet laterally turn out to the side. And again, and really think about opening up. So just go easy, Devs. I know sometimes taking your arm behind your back can be a little bit intense, but obviously that's opening up the shoulder. 2 more. God, this left shoulder as well, clicky today. And lovely. Okay, now grab hold of a resistance band, she says. Easier said than done in my studio. Where have I put it? Where have I put it? I don't know where my resistance bands are. I should be able to do it with this. Yeah, I can. So mine's just one of these ones, but hopefully you've got a longer one. So take your elbows down by your, into your waist. Take your hands together. Again, try not to go forward. So really start with that good posture, shoulder down, opening up the chest, and then just out. Hold for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and then back. Again, keep your elbows glued in, but open up. You want a bit of resistance on the band, so you can feel like the pectoral muscles opening. And close. And again. So Zoe's been given these 30 times to do in one day. Hold. Good. And then lower. So think about them front pectoral muscles, that when they get tight and shortened, it affects so much. Breath is like one of the big things. And again, keep the rib cage closed, so in and down. And again, hold. And close. And again. So you're working all the muscles through the rotator cuff. Again, 8. Close. 7. Close. So we're only going to do like a 40-minute class, guys, today. Everyone just loads of messages last night, loads of people doing last minute shopping. Hold, meeting friends for lunch. I've got to take my mum shopping. 4, Beautiful. 3, 2, woo, and 1. Well done. And then just take it down and then just give it all a little bit of a, and we're just going to do a little bit of movement pattern now. So just take it in and out, circle it. So again, keeping that joint super healthy, across the midline. You can always do it down the side as well. So kind of, yeah. Any circling action is good for the joint mobility. And 2, and 1, and then across again. Nice circle. And just notice any difference. I look like I'm doing it the same, but everything always feels a bit impinged on this side. And 3, 2, 1. Take it out down the side a bit. Whoops. My brain's not working on this one. And 4, 3, 2, and 1. Well done. And then pendulum, like this. Yeah. Most glamorous monkey there is, Debs. And whoop, 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 whoop. And the other side. And just swing. So that pendulum movement. Again, Debs, you're kind of taking this behind the back of the body, but hopefully it feels quite nice. Just don't swing too high. And well done. Good. Okay. Let's just take it now into like first position. And again, shoulder blades down and back. Try and feel almost like someone's pushing their hands into the chest to open it up. Nice and slow. And in. And just think about drawing the pelvic floor. So look at this movement. And then this one, not quite as good. And again, first 6. For 5. For 4. For 3, 2, and 1. So particularly over Christmas, guys, try and keep them shoulders moving. Whatever actions you can do, do them. Yeah, we need a lot of strength kind of carrying stuff. And then just kind of come to here and then just pull the hands kind of interlink them. And again, pull the shoulder blades together. Hold, opening up the chest. Yeah? Just take a breath in. And out. In. And out. And then find yourself a wall and take your forearm onto a wall. And then again, turn. Again, opening up the chest. Take a breath in. And back to centre position. Well done. I'm going to turn my back just to do the other side. So again, cactus arms, open up the chest and then have a rotation. Really opening up, particularly through the bicep tendon area. Take a breath in. Last one. And don't forget all your old ones like post-surgery where you were going to walk the hands up the wall. Okay, so these are, Serena was saying how tight, well she's working a lot now, so these are for you babe as well. So keep the shoulders down, imagine a rope is pulling the crown of the head. And then again, we'll just do some little neck work, chin, and just round. Back to centre. The other way. And back. And again. And always do these seated, in a chair, on the floor, and again. So again, think of what actions the neck can do. Back to centre, just have a little bit of softness in the knee so you're not kind of putting too much pressure on the back. And then pull the neck in, so like you're making a double chin almost. Lengthening the back. So you think about slight chin to chest. And back. I always look really funny doing this. And back. 2 more. I've just massaged a dentist actually. She's lovely, Katie. She suffers terribly with her back, not with her back, sorry, with her neck and upper traps, because she's like that all day looking in people's mouths. So again, neck work really important. Just take her right, and again, try and think of the other hand reaching down so you're creating this length, and then back the other way, and down, reach. Oh, occupational hazard for me, massaging and plank. Neck always feels tight, and then down. Don't know what I'd do if I didn't do these. And then back, and again. So again, really notice if one side's tighter than the other. So my left shoulder gives me jips sometimes through a trauma, but it's my right side of the neck that feels tight because that is my stronger side. I talk on the phone on that side. Yeah, massage deeper on that side. So again, generally stronger muscles become tighter. And again, 2 more. And notice the more you do, it should feel that bit easier. Yeah? And then what we're going to do now is just come down onto the floor. Just sit into your nice little Z leg. Yeah, into a nice hip work. So we're not doing like a traditional Pilates class today, I just want to do lots of work for the upper back. So again, take one arm up, take it into the scapula, use the other one and push it down. Feel that stretch. So if your mobility feels a bit off or your flexibility, it's best to work on mobility and flexibility. Get the full range back before you start lifting weights in that range. Good. And then just take that hand away, and then the other hand behind the back. So the one that we're at the scapula, take behind the back. And again, that's what wants to happen. The shoulder wants to go in like that. Pull it back. You're trying to create a stretch. And again, just gently down. Stretch more now, we've mobilised. You can take the gaze slightly to the floor. Feel that stretch. Oh, Raph will be impressed with this t-shirt. What it does, Mercy. And then gently back to centre. Well done, the other side. So take it up, take it in, push it down. Good, then just take the hand away, take that hand behind the back. Yeah, and then the hand back on, pull the shoulder blades back, take it down, take a breath in. Remember the neck, yeah, is all part of the spine, so you have lots of muscles running at the side of them, so it's nice to sometimes get a little bit of heat, get some warm cream, and you want to, not on the vertebra itself, but you want to pull the muscles kind of away like that, yeah, and same with down, yeah, so don't be frightened of getting your kind of fingers in a little bit. Okay, so now what I want you to do is just come down onto the floor. So we're going to do a little bit of mobilisation of the shoulders, and then I just want to show you a little bit of a strength exercise for the upper back. Okay, so let's just talk about, I promised a few people I'd talk about neutral spine again. I talk about it a lot, guys. There is no point in doing abdominal work with your lower back squeezing into the mat and your bum lifting up. Likewise, you don't want the hip bones higher and that horrible gaping. So always give yourself a couple of seconds to think about an imaginary tray of drinks. Give your pelvic tilt forward and back, and then find that position where the tray of drinks are nice and stable. Walk the fingertips down, opening up the chest, and we'll just do a little bit of core work. So all I want to do is go back to basics, but I want you to think about, you've got £1 million on this, yeah? You've got that little gap underneath the lumbar spine, the ribs are down, draw the belly in, take the leg out nice and slowly, and bring it back without moving the back. The other side, without lifting the hips, bones, yeah, without rocking 3 to 9 on the clock. Take the other leg out and draw it back. Yeah, so what you're not doing is this. Yeah, or this. Yeah, so let's go again. So keep that core tight. Take it out, push the ribs down. And back in. Nice and slow. And again. I want you to really practice that, everyone, at home. Keeping in neutral. Tiny little gap underneath the lower back. Ribs are in and down on the mat. You are not rocking 3 to 9 in the hips, or 6 to 12, pubic bone, belly button. Yeah? And when you start doing double leg work, you want to use that same level of control, pushing the ribs down. Everything's working through neutral. And 3. So I don't know if you can see on the screen, but my bum's on the mat. I've got a little gap underneath the lower back, and then my ribs are down as well. And relax back down. Good. So we're not really doing core work today. I just wanted to give a little bit of a masterclass in neutral spine. And then take your arms up towards the ceiling, chin towards the chest. And then I just want you to protract one shoulder blade away and retract it down. Protract the other and retract. So the shoulder blade comes away and down. So we're keeping the muscles working around the pecs when we do that, and around the traps when we retract. Yeah. So we have opposite muscle groups. As one shortens, one lengthens. Yeah, agonist, antagonistic. And then keep them down. Take your arms a little bit wider, keep the core tight, let the ribs keep connected, and then just take it into your scissor. So I did HIIT this morning, did quite a lot of upper body, kind of planky weights, that kind of thing. So, which is great for shoulder stability, but you need to keep the joints mobile and stretched through the muscles as well. And then down, and then keep them both down now. Palms down, again, walk the shoulder blades down, open up the chest. Go easy, Debs, just see. Let's take our palms up to our shoulder height. Generally you get to about 80, it can feel a bit tight. If you turn the palms up and just push a bit, hopefully they will come overhead, but just go to where you feel comfortable. And back down. Or you can do this one where you take your arms up, take them both back. Imagine a bird's eye view. Yeah, like a capital, like an eye. And then back up again. And then over. Then you can take it to a capital Y, to about there. Back in. Up. And then the harder one is obviously all the way to a T. And all the way back down. So again, round and down. Just go easy. Whatever movement doesn't feel right, don't do it. And 2 more. And last one. And well done. Excellent. Okay, let's come over onto the side. So again, Debs, or anyone who's watching, you can have like a little cushion. This is probably a little bit too thick. They are great, these yoga mats though, yoga cushions. I sometimes like to just put my head kind of there. These are yoga matter ones, they're really good. And you just want to, sometimes it's nice to put that leg on a roller, but I'm just going to bend both knees today. And then take a gaze at yours, so we're opening up the chest again. So the problem is post-surgery, sometimes it's hard for people to lie on the front. So this opens up the chest again. So take your gaze up to 12. It's nicer with the cushion because it supports the head, and then just let it open up. So Serena, I know she's brilliant at recording, so if you're doing this one, babe, just give that little wrist a flick in and out again, just because it's a little bit like the sciatic nerve one that runs down your arm there, not the leg obviously. And then down. And again, up. And then we're just going to have a really lovely rest. So we're going to really take a breath in through the nose. Out through the mouth. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. See if you can go a little bit further with caution, obviously. Take a breath in. And gently over. So if that feels enough and you're feeling a stretch and that's kind of all you want today, just keep. Or you can do that one, the open door one, which I love. Push the bottom hip into the mat. Take your gaze to 12 and then round. And just think, how often do you kind of wobble? It's quite a deep stretch. Normally a bit easier for me, but after plank today, everything feels a bit tight. And again, over. You almost need your partner to anchor that top hip down so it doesn't rock. So again, take the gaze to 12. Don't worry if you can't keep your hand down. Most people can't. And then round. You feel that amazing deep stretch. Take a breath in. Well done. And back over. We'll do one more. Yeah, so again, try this with your partners. Men are usually much tighter than women in this. And then round. I always like to do the first one first. A guy I did once in class came, and he was obviously super tight in his pecs from lifting weights, and it was just, he pulled a bit too much. So his hands were like here and he went, ugh. So that's why I always try that one first. And then just gently come over onto that other side and see if there's a noticeable difference. And if there is, can you identify why there is? Yeah? So again, bend the knees. So again, I always start with this one. So just gently look, anchor the hip bone down to mat, look at your thumb, up to 12, and then back. So again, go easy. You can flip in and out if you want. A little bit of a nervy kind of feeling. We have a nerve that runs down the arm a little bit like the sciatic one. And then just take a beautiful breath in. And gently back. And again, just follow the gaze without moving the hip. Let it come out. And gently down. Okay, and then the other one, again, if that one felt too enough, just continue that one, or look at the thumb and circle. Does this one move easier? Oh, tight for me, this one. And then back. And again, you'll notice my top hip is moving a little bit. It's very hard without someone holding it not to go backwards, but try as much as you can not to. Oh, take a breath in. And then over. So just think, how often do we do, well we do in here guys, but people out there who have shoulder injuries, how often they actually do any work on shoulders? They don't. Take a breath in. Beautiful. Back to centre. Well done. And then just come onto your back again. So this just provides that little nice bit of comfort, chin towards the chest. And then just pull your arm across into that deltoid stretch. And then the other way. And then go into cactus arms again. So even just, this is quite nice to actually do over something like this. So it really opens up the chest. Obviously have your head supported with a ball or something. But you can do it just on the floor. So like this, and then just take your arms backwards. And again, take a breath in. And back to centre. And then just puppet arms. Puppet arms, forward and back. Forward and back. Forward and back. Forward and back. And 2. And 1. Well done. Beautiful. Okie doke. Come back onto your side. I just want, so I'm not really worried about doing loads of side leg today, but I just want people, if they're doing videos, particularly my breast cancer Yorkshire, a few of them have asked me to send some stuff. So just lift up that bottom waist, lengthen the top leg. We're going to do the original one where hips, knees and ankles are stacked. We're only doing 8, that's all. What I want you to do is lift the leg without squashing the waist. Yeah, so you just lift. And if you can't do that without rocking in the pelvis, there's no point in doing it. Bend the knee and find that stability through the pelvis. Particularly when we do single leg kick, you'll find sometimes people do this. There's no point in doing it. Yeah, it's about keeping everything still. To there and back. To there. Pelvic alignment is so, so important. 3. If you have one hip bone slightly higher than the other, or your pelvis is tilted forwards or back, creates all kinds of issue. So yeah, so just have a think about that. That's it, what a little treat. And then on to your back. So we've talked about neutral spine in this position, lying prone, quite a bit. So whenever you're doing abdominal work, yeah, you want to be in neutral. So if you're doing chest lift, push the ribs down, elbows out wide. Remember that opening of the chest. Lift, notice that gap's still there, yeah? Lower down. Yeah, so remember with chest lift, we're not coming up and squishing. We're not moving our elbows like this. The elbows are wide, the rib cage is closed, the ribs are on the mat. You've got a little gap underneath the lumbar spine. You lift up, that gap remains. Lower a little bit, the ribs don't come up and out. Yeah? So remind yourself about them positions. And then just in case you're a bit OCD, let's just do a little bit on the other side. So again, hips stacked, ankles stacked, knees stacked. The hips are not rolling backwards, they are forwards. Headlights on the hips. You've got a gap underneath the lumbar spine. Lengthen, lift. It's better to do like 8 really good than to do like, 30 wrong. So again, the top leg is in direct opposition to the bottom hand. And again, so even I sometimes, I do these all the time, if I'm a bit tired, sometimes when I do this one, I feel like I'm, so I bend the knee and then keep the pelvis still, forward and back. Forward. Modifications are there for a reason, guys. They're to make the exercise not easier, but more correct. And 2 more. 2 and 1. The same when we do climb. So when you think of climb, the heels in line with the bum, there's no point doing this. Rocking all over the place. Yeah, it's about keeping the core tight and lift, keeping the hips facing forward. And 2. Yeah, and 3. Yeah, so try and think about all those principles when you're doing your exercise. Then I just want you to show you some 4-point kneeling work. In fact, before I do that, let me just show you this one. So you can, remember we're wanting to make the upper back strong, so you can come into like a prone position. So prone is when you're lying on your tummies. Push the pubic bone into the mat and draw that navel in and away from the mat. So it's like you're lying on something boiling hot and you're drawing the navel away from it. And then slide your shoulder blades down and just hold that position. Yeah, to progress it, you can just lift up. and then lower. Let everything relax. Push the pubic bone down, draw the shoulder blades together. Yeah, keep the core tight and lift. And lower. Which is what we do when we do push-ups, guys. Now obviously with lymphedema we don't want to spend long on our wrist, but if you were doing a push-up against the wall, squeeze the shoulder blades together. It's best to come to there and keep your form than to come all the way down and not be able to. So, just come up on 4-point kneeling. If you've got lymphedema, make sure you've got your sleeve on, guys. So we just want to not drop like this in the breastbone. You want to push away from the mat. Soften your elbows a little bit. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Really good for things like osteoporosis, 4-point kneeling. Take one leg back. Think about your pelvis. Draw the belly in, working the glutes. So I want you to lift. Think about length, not this. This is one position where if I come round in class, people think we're in neutral and they're actually like this. So get your partner to look at you when you're doing it and make sure your hips are facing down and your pelvis is neutral. Make sure you're not rocking 3 to 9. Just try the other side. Again, when you get tired, it's very easy to do this. The shoulders kind of hike up, the breastbone drops, the tummy flops, the back arches. So give yourself time. You can always go on knuckles. Draw the tummy in, squeeze the scapula together. Take it out, lift and lower. And again, keep that belly in. And 3 and 4. Another one that's good to do in this position is lifting, pushing away from the mat, walking forward and then trying to, but again, if you've got lymphedema, you don't want to be putting too much pressure on the wrist. And then just come and sit. Just have a little deep child's pose, big toes together. Really feel the back. Now I did hit this morning, guys, and I always do back stretches, and I didn't today, and I can really feel that everything's tight because I've been jumping a bit. So remember, if you're doing a lot of walking this holiday, make sure you're doing some nice back, calf, hamstring stretches. Good. And then just walk both hands round. Reach the top hand over the bottom hand, stretching the side of the body. Take a breath in and out. And in and out. 2 more. Last one. And to the other side. Again, breath in and out. Beautiful. Back up to centre. I promised you a 40-minute class, so I'm going to give you a 40-minute class. And let's just, in case the hips are tight. So again, a lot of back issues are due to tight hips or tight hamstrings or weak glutes. So come up into a bent knee position, so onto your knees. And last ones, we're just going to do some stretches. So back leg bent. If you're really tight through the hip flexors, you want to think about shoulders down, and you can just tuck the tailbone under, so pelvic imprint. And that gets a nice little stretch. Doesn't do much for me. I'm not very tight through my hips at all. So that doesn't do enough for me. So I like to come onto a deep angle like this. Yeah, so from this direction and forward, and you can just reach up. But the big thing about hip work is that you're tucking under a little bit and then come over. So you imagine if you're super, super tight in the hips, how it can pull on the back. Likewise, if your hamstrings are tight, that can also pull you posteriorly. So keep that leg nice and straight, and this time do the opposite. You're not tucking under, you're pushing backwards. Reach and just hold. So for me, this is my tighter, always tighter through the back leg. You can reach down or you can just reach. So if you go for a long walk, don't give a hoot what you look like, guys. If I sometimes go for a long walk or a jog, don't run much. I'm going to start again hopefully in January. But I often find a chair, you know, like a bench in a park, if I feel tight on a run, and I just give myself a little bit of a stretch. So the other side, so again, for those people that are super tight in the hip flexors, just stand upright, shoulders down, tuck the tailbone, so tuck under, hold. Yeah, so notice what's happening here. Obviously your bum's tightening in your back, so you're opening up this front bit. You can reach up, you can take a little stretch. Well done, back, and then straighten the front leg, sit back in the hips. So sit back, or reach forward, hold, that's quite intense for me. Hold down. So my friend Zoe's been to HIIT this morning and she was like, my calves are so tight, Joe. And basically she's just come back from a flight to New York and walked 10 miles in New York yesterday. You don't often think about stretching when you've done a walk, and the calves take a big beating. And then back up, and then just gently come into, as always, our cow pose. So again, if you're not used to cat to cow, you probably are if you do my classes, you stick your bum up, you dip your back, you take a breath in, and then you start moving at the tailbone. Nice rounding at the back. It's okay for the shoulders to hike a little bit in this one, and then the other way. And again. One more. Last one. And back to centre. Tuck the toes. Take the hips nice and high. Walk the hands back. Take the right heel down. The left. The right. The left. Start coming gently back. Softly up. And just because we didn't do a glute stretch, guys, you can always do a glute stretch standing up, you know. So you can always just grab hold of a wall and then just take one foot and just push on that inner knee. And it'll just again open up through here. So you want to really hold a stretch for about 20 seconds. If you're super tight, you want to do your stretch 2 or 3 times, not just once. And then gently up, then plant that foot to the outside of the other one. Take the hips back and just gently float down. Again, that will get into the hamstrings, and if you tighten the bum, maybe a little bit into the bum as well. Take a breath in. Last one, breath in, gently up. And the other side. So again, just standing glute stretch. So if you're just busy on Christmas Day, you know, and you're thinking, oh, my legs are tired, just do this at the countertop. Dancing to, I don't know, Merry Christmas. And then push down, just push. Oh, that feels bloody good after this morning. And then plant. Take the hips back, the weight forward, gently down. Oh, I love this stretch. Remember IT band, the iliotibial stretch. If the IT band, the white connective tissue that runs down the side of the leg, if that gets tight, it can really pull on the knee and take the knee out of alignment and gently up. And I'm 110, guys, I don't have any knee problems. And then hold up, and then just in this position, just take the same hand up in the air as the leg in front and just push over. And then switch, and again push. lateral side of the body. And gently up, and just remind yourself of your pelvis can go east to west, or 3 to 9, can go 6 to 12. And just have a few little circles. And have a merry, 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 merry Christmas. Actually, I'll probably see Debs on Friday morning. Thank you.